Well, guys, we are in the studio slash living space, and we are taking on a big project this week. Part of the reason that you're kind of seeing a little less of us, I suppose. But we are finally going to be tackling the drywall and painting and shelves and things like that in our studio. So we are having a few little challenges because we actually live in this space at the same time. As many of you know that have been in our lives, this room has been in this state for 2 years now. And of course, so you move in and you just get comfortable with that. But it's time for some big changes. So we're hoping that all this sort of organization will really increase some production and get some good things going from the studio. But we're going to kind of take you along on the journey. This isn't a how-to. This is just our little story about getting this room finally going.
First part of this job is this wall right here, which goes all the way down to there. And the plan is this entire wall, I think it's about 21 feet or
24 feet.
24 feet. This entire wall will be shelving so that we can store fabric and fleece and all that other stuff. So first job, a little bit of sanding, a little bit of mudding, painting, and then construction of the shelves.
So end of day one, and boy, we've made a mess. But final coat of plaster on this after we sanded it. And the roof, which I will admit got a little bit messy. I was getting tired by that point. But we've got this wall done. And if I give you the long view, we've plastered all down there. And Christopher did awesome. We got this wall sanded and Kill paint primed, whatever, with the Kills paint. And Chris has our first coat on for that big long wall that's going to become our shelving unit. We're super excited for this, so fingers crossed we can keep moving at this pace, but at the end of day one, not too bad. But now, it's desperate times. We have to have showers. This is disgusting. But so glad that the sanding part is almost done. We still got one more day of sanding tomorrow, but yay! All right, guys, we are heading into day 2 of sanding, plastering, and painting. Big thing we're going to get done is this area behind me. This was its last coat of plaster. So we're going to get that all sanded off so we can get a first coat on. And that wall that I showed you at the end of the day is getting a second coat, as well as some of the roof. So lots to get done. And if we happen to get that done, we're going to move on to staining our shelves. So we are on to day 3 of sanding. But hopefully this is going to be the end of it. But I thought for day 3, I'm going to take you for kind of a virtual walkthrough of what we're working on. So excuse the mess. You're seeing the real life Hickorycroft farm here. It is a case of everything is piled into the center and away from the wall so that we can work on this. But anyways, I'm going to take you for the virtual walk anyways, because I think it's going to be really impressive when we get it all done. So as I open up the door into our downstairs, which is going to become studio, this is where we start with our entryway. This needs to be finished sanding, and then it's going to get painted. Cat, not supposed to be down here. It's kind of a little sort of spirally staircase to this area, which is also to be painted. And this one here is going to be our accent wall right here. It's going to be orange. I'm very excited for that. And again, we've used Kills paint on the bottom because there was some reclaimed drywall that had marks, which we just didn't want to risk it showing. So as we walk down here, you can see this is all our accent wall going to be orange. And then that wall there, which doesn't show super great, but it is kind of a yellowy cream color. That one got its second coat yesterday, so that is the start of our shelving. Unfortunately, we had one seam where when they moved this house to the property, they split it in half, and you can even see up in the roof, it does not join together properly. There was no hope of fixing that. We're just going to be shelving right over and hope that it works well. And then we're going to be taking down the owl in that corner and finishing up over there with the same color. There in the corner, you can see how much of a difference that is with the color of paint. Excuse the balloons. We'll have to say, honey badgers, those are the balloons that you sent the kids way back in the summer, and we put them up for Alex's birthday in September. And this is a test to see how long they last. And they're still going. Maybe we're just lazy. But anyways, that's kind of the walkthrough on day 3 at the beginning. Nothing's really changing on that side today. We're going to hopefully start with our shelving. And this wall over here, which again is going to be the orange accent wall, won't really be getting anything today because we want to make sure the roof paint dries after its second coat before we have to mask tape that in order to do the orange. So we'll bring you back when we've made some progress. Day 4 tour, starting where I'm most impressed. This is so nice to look down at and see it all painted. Still needs a second coat on this section, but not terrible. This wall's got both coats on, ready to go. Ceiling is painted. And this wall over here is ready to go today. Going to be painted orange. So we wanted to get all the other walls done first around it before we masked it off. So it doesn't seem like big progress, but it is. This is awesome to have it this far done. 2 coats going onto this wall here today. And I'm going to take you and show you some of the progress we've made on the shelves. Before I do that though, I'm going to show you this from this section. So that's that wall that I said had its double coat on it. We still have to figure out what we're doing with these stairs exactly. But that wall got its coat, and there's that little alcove there. So it'll be trim next. And basically the other part that we got done yesterday was staining. These are all our little, I guess, wood pieces, brackets, whatever you want to call it, that are going to hold our shelves. And then these are some of the shelves stained up. Kind of looks darker than it actually is. It was done so that it's just a light stain of black, and then we're going to buff out all the edges and kind of scuff it up so it looks old. It'll make sense when we get it all done. But that is the start of day 4. Fingers crossed, progress is going to be made on these shelves, and our wall is going to become orange. Well, we are at the end of day 5, and the house is in shambles, as you can see behind me here. But we're going to show you where we've gotten so far, because we still like to think we're making good progress. We managed to get our orange wall done. We're actually, I just see now as I'm filming, we need to get that green masking tape off tonight. So that will be coming down before we end here. And we are well on our way with plans here for our shelving. As you can see, we've got one unit there kind of in place. That's where the spinning wheels are going to sit. We have encountered some very interesting dilemmas, which I will show you here in a sec. So that gap behind that shelf is how crooked our wall is. We knew it was a little bit out, but had no idea it was that out. So we are level, our shelves are level, and we're sitting on the ground. But unfortunately, we're now stuck being quite a gap from the wall up at the top. That's about 2 inches. So, and it seems to kind of continue all the way down the wall. One thing that is an advantage here is we're not talking about having books on these shelves or knickknacks or anything. This is for fabric and stuff like that. So even with the gap behind, it's not going to really cause a problem. But it's interesting when we kind of wanted to anchor it to the wall, we're not getting the results we need to be able to do that. So I guess we're going to have to come up with a plan C or B, or I'm not sure what plan we're on anymore. Right now, it's kind of gotten wedged in there enough that there's no way that that's moving out of there, but I'm not sure that's the best plan. Well, we have skipped ahead. So end of day 6 came, and we managed to get some shelving done and got some really awesome display sort of things set up. So I'm going to take you and show you this, and believe me, very exciting. And I have to admit, I forgot all about filming because I was so excited to start getting out my fabric. But I'll take you around, do a walkabout, and show you just what we got done before Chris had to get back to work. By work, I mean real work. So here you can see shelf number 1 all ready to go. This is at the bottom of the stairs as you come down that little corner. So you can see how beautiful orange it ended up. And that is our kind of cream colored wall. We have a painting there that is ready to go up. And we moved a bookshelf to this side. You can see some of the Lego, but we don't have a 100% plan as to what's going on these exactly yet, but probably going to be mostly knickknacks as we plan to do a library in another part of the house. But moving on, we still need to do some trim, as you can see, around doors and things like that. And we have a big blank spot here that is not quite finished. There will be a fish tank and cabinet here, followed by another big shelf to the ceiling there. But we need to get all that into position in order to build the final shelf. So that is still ongoing, but we painted the roof the same color as this kind of cream colored wall. And here we are, the fabric wall. So we went right to the ceiling, coming right down. I was so excited to unpack my fabric. Now I just have to get producing some stuff. But unfortunately, we still don't have art supplies unpacked, and my fleece is not on here yet. So we're going to have to do a little bit of juggling, but I'll take you to an area that kind of focuses a little bit more on the fleece side of things. So this is the remainder of this shelf. You can see the end of the fabric there. And this is going to be home for both my spinning wheels eventually. One's up in the loft, so right now a quilt rack is there. But we've got that in place. A little bit of clutter's gotten on there, but that's just because we're not organized yet. And then my two carders are going to be on the shelf underneath. Followed by, we have a bunch of crates that fit underneath there to hold fleece or spun yarn, things like that. So this area here is basically going to become the fiber area, I guess you could say. So what I'm really hoping is that these changes, as we get organized, will lead to production. As you can see, I've managed to collect quite an amount of fabric and crafting type stuff over the years. And it is a passion, and I do hope to kind of turn it into a little bit of an income. Not anything fantabulous, just a little bit to help. So fingers crossed, watch this space, that there'll be some production videos coming out, maybe some how-tos on some quilting things, but we still have a lot more to organize in this space, and I'll give you a sneak peek at what's still to get finished. So still to be finished is the remainder of this wall, which actually I did sand the and plaster with its last coat today. So fingers crossed we'll get that done, and our TV will hang there beside the wood stove, because of course in the studio we need to have a TV. And then we'll go on down to organize up Chris's office space. And then this whole area will be done. It will be amazing. I'm so looking forward to that after 2 years. It is kind of one of those things of, why on earth did we wait this long? Well, I guess that's anybody's guess, but other things just seem to have crept in and taken over. So hopefully this is going to be a good change, and hopefully we can keep it neat and tidy.